Hey, you sexy, sexy cupcake. If you are filled with worry and stress, this video is going to be for you because I'm going to debrief a session that I did with a client years ago that literally changed everything about my perspective on stress and anxiety and also her perspective, and I know it's going to shift yours as well. Now, if I lost you on Sexy Cupcake, bear with me. It's just a term of endearment that I love to use, just like people look at me and go, hey, Dave, get out of the way. First off, my name isn't Dave, and I don't appreciate it when people just tell me to get out of the way. I always joke with people, saying excuse me is just a polite way of saying move. Anyway, you are my coffee date for today. I got my Big D mug. My computer's on back there because I was just typing this into an email. I'm like, you know what? It might translate better over video. Bear with me because I do have my computer on. I do have chapped lips. I look like a little bit of a mess. I just got back from the gym. Anyway, here we go. So years ago, I worked with a stressed out mom, and this lady was stressed out about everything. Her son, she only had one son. Her son, her finances, her job, her relationship with her husband. She was constantly worrying about everything and waiting for the next shoe to drop. She was seeing me specifically, though, because her controlling nature that came from her stress was starting to affect her relationship with her son. And also, it was affecting her relationship with her husband because her husband would see how she was with her son. Her husband would get mad at her and she'd get mad at the husband. And the son would get mad at the both of them for getting mad at her. Anyway, you get it. So she's sitting across from me in my big fluffy recliner. And I said to her, well, say your name was Susan. I said, hey, Susan. So tell me a little bit about what's bothering you. Tell me a little bit about what's stressing you out. And she went on this tirade about how she's constantly worrying about her son, how she's constantly reaching out to him, constantly text messaging him. And I believe he was 19 years old at the time. And she was just like that helicopter mom that teenagers love to hate. And she was just so micromanaging, and that micromanaging, controlling nature was fueled from all this stress and worry about something going wrong or something happening with her son. Here's what happened, though. It was ruining her relationship with her kid, ruining her relationship with her husband, as I already said. But this one question popped into my mind, and it literally changed her entire perspective. I asked her, what happens if you stop stressing about your son? And she started bawling her eyes out. And she said, if I'm not stressed out, it means I'm not a good mom, and it means I don't care about him. Whoa. I'm like, lady, pump the brakes, Cupcake. She tied these two programs together, and in her mind, she thought that if she wasn't stressed or worried, it meant she wasn't a good mom, and it meant she wasn't caring. So in her mind, the more stressed she was, it meant the more caring she was. Ew, a big bubble of spit literally just popped out of my mouth and landed on my microphone. Absolutely disgusting. I hope you didn't see it. Anyway, moving on. So in her mind, the more stressed out she was, the more it meant she cared about her son. And these two parts of her mind, stress and care, fused together. And it meant to her she was a good mom. And so that laid the foundation for all of the work we did together. I spent about 2 or 3 sessions unwinding and unraveling that belief system. And I wonder if you have the same belief system, if you're worried, if you get stressed out, if you think stress means that you care more. Or if you're not as stressed about something, it means you're not caring as much about it. And that is a fallacy. That is a limiting belief system. It's a false belief system that many people have because that laid the foundation and the groundwork for so many clients that came after that woman, where so many people, whether it's they were stressing about their work, their finances, their relationship, they thought, oh, if I'm not stressed out about my finances, it means I don't care about them. Or if I'm not stressed out about my business, it means I'm not going to run my business well. And people use stress as a measure for care and motivation. But guess what stress really does? Stress, number one, it makes us stupid because it clouds our judgment. And then we're not able to make healthy and well-informed decisions because our stress is lying to us. And it tells us things are going to happen that will not happen. Like that lady, she thought, oh my gosh, if my son doesn't get back to me, it must mean he died in a car accident. No, it doesn't. It could mean he's just so sick and tired of his mom nagging him that he's like, screw this lady, and he puts his phone down. It could mean he's making out with his girlfriend. So sometimes our mind tends to get really creative when we're stressed out. So that's the number one thing I want you to take away from this video is that stress has nothing to do with the amount that you care or the amount of motivation that you have or you're going to have. Number two, stress makes us stupid because we're not able to make well-informed decisions. Number three, stress also causes conflict. It causes conflict in relationships. It causes internal conflict and struggle. It causes conflict in our businesses, in our work, in our job, in our career, with our finances. Stress is what causes us so much conflict. And finally, number four, stress causes us illness. There are so many studies that show when we're stressed and anxious, our immune system is knocked down. When we're stressed and anxious, our heart rate increases. When we're stressed and anxious, and we're in that state of high alert, people get sicker a lot faster, a lot easier. In fact, I believe there's some statistic out there like 73% of people that call out of work or illnesses are due to stress-related illnesses. So just in your mind, as you're thinking about this, just develop the realization that stress has nothing to do with the amount that you care about something. So I ended up the program with this stressed out mom, and we got to the point where at the end of working with her, I said, hey, what'd you learn? And she said, I learned that I don't have to be stressed out to be a good mom. And I said, great, now what's that going to change? And she said everything. She started to list off all these things. She said, I'm not going to micromanage my son anymore. I'm not going to be as controlling. Now, again, I had to do some more deep inner work with her in order for her to get to the reality to implement these realizations that she was making. So we were able to rearrange, not just in her subconscious mind, but also in her nervous system, the fact that she didn't always have to be on edge, waiting for the next shoe to drop or in fight or flight constantly. And guess where this came from? That belief system that if she wasn't stressed out, she wasn't a good mom, it came from her mom. And that belief system came from her mom. And this goes to show that many of our programs come from people that that's their normal. It's not our normal. Yet we take other people's normal or other people's reality or other people's narrative and we apply it to us, even though the same things that happened to them didn't necessarily happen to us. So just take this into consideration. Whose narrative, whose story, whose reality, whose normal are you taking on to let control your life? Think about that. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. And as always, follow me for more. Be well, do good, be true to who you are, and happy healing. Bye for now.